Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Winski and I'm the Senior Exhibitions Manager here at the National Constitution Center, and we're so excited to show you our brand new exhibit, the 19th Amendment, How Women Won the Vote. So right here I am in an early section of the exhibit where we're looking right after the Civil War during the period of Reconstruction, when the women's movement really becomes focused on the right to vote as a way to achieve their broader equality aims. And they're also doing this against the backdrop of amending the Constitution, adding the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments to that document. So it's a period of a lot of change happening, and women are trying new tactics and new ways to expand their rights and to get the right to vote. So we brought that to life right here in this exhibit area around me, and we wanted to make a couple key important points. One of the first things is that women are starting to get the right to vote at the state level. This is really happening in these early days state by state, and this is a story we expand throughout the exhibit. But we introduce you to here that Wyoming actually becomes the first state to allow women full voting rights when they're still a territory in 1869. The other thing that's happening is a lot of states are passing partial voting rights. So they're deciding to let women vote in local elections, for school boards, things like that. So a lot of times when these laws are being passed, they're actually requiring these locations to have a special ballot box for women. So this ballot box next to me actually was used in election by women in the late 1800s. It actually says women's ballots on it, so it was to make sure those ballots were only being counted in the elections that women were allowed to vote in. And we don't know exactly where it's from, but it has the town of Elwood stamped on it. So there's different Elwoods throughout the country. So it's from the town of Elwood somewhere here in the country. The other things that is happening throughout the country are women are just trying to vote, no matter what the laws are in their local locations. So this exhibit here, we really wanted to bring those stories to life and give you examples of women who were actually successfully voting in the 1870s and some who weren't. Sometimes they were being arrested, sometimes they were just being denied, or sometimes they were actually successful. So we have lots of different stories happening here. There's cases like there were actually a group of 200 African American women in North Carolina who were able to dress up as men and successfully vote in an election there. There's the story of Carrie Burnham, who here in Philadelphia voted or tried to vote in an election and was prohibited, and she takes her case all the way up to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. And she's arguing under the 14th Amendment that she is a citizen, so therefore she has the right to vote. The voting is a privilege of citizenship. She loses her case, as well as Virginia Minor, who's a fellow suffragist in Missouri. And she also challenges her case, but she takes it up through the federal courts and gets all the way to the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court definitively rules that no, women can't argue, women are citizens, but they can't argue that voting is a privilege of citizenship under the 14th Amendment, and kind of shuts down these early efforts to kind of use what is already in the Constitution to gain the right to vote. And those fights continue on through other methods and means that we continue to explore throughout this exhibit. So we hope that you come and visit us and get to learn all of these great stories here for yourself.